Hello, 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 everybody. How's everyone doing? Do I even need to ask? The sea of red again behind me. The liquidity in this market is atrocious. It's actually now what I'm really worried about if we get something that catches it off guard. I mean, this is bad. This can't absorb anything. And I'm not talking from a bullish or bearish perspective. We saw yesterday the big rip up, which was triggered by some massive buy programs, but today it could not absorb anything. Finally, the casino is closed. What a week! Yes, the short-term volatility casino. The only thing right now, I guess, you got to be long volatility. That's the play. Long volatility. Hello, Patrick. Hello, agree with Rich. What a Matt. These markets. This is brutal. This is why it's tactical trading. And guess what? I mean, Ramsafal is not here right now, unless he just came on and said he's in cash. One of the smartest plays to make. Sit on the sidelines unless you have something to do in the shorter term. If you're not an active trader, don't bother. What a sell-off day. Still holding below 62.5 though on the S&P, at least unless we got 8 minutes till the official futures close. Crazy week, Gary. I like it. We now have Gary the golfer using his mafia name. And anybody on Discord, I finally got Bob on the Discord server. So, if you are on Discord, Bob's now on there also. Hey, Nas, industry crazy market. I think we have a consensus crazy market. I am just dead tired today, too. I haven't even had a chance to eat today, besides coffee. Coffee, I guess, doesn't count as food, though. I have not even had a chance to eat anything. Buy programs sold one day after buying. This is crazy. There was a couple sell programs that went off, but a lot of it was just standard selling. And again, I'm specifically referring to in the futures what used to be able to absorb selling. The there are very little sticky bids. Let me put it that way, and it is thin. That's what has me worried. So we come in with, if there's an event that catches this market off guard, and I'm not talking about even a Fed speaker saying something, and sorry, I did not realize there were a couple Fed speaks today. It was not on my radar screen, so I did not mention that, and I'm sorry because that even caught me off guard. I should have done a little more research. Although at the end of the day, it's tiring keeping up with this market. Uh, so, happy Fake Out Friday, George. Hi, all APs world. That's why you always, my one key is whether you're bullish or bearish, know where your stop levels are. Do not, and I've said that before, do not take this market for granted. What do you look at regarding liquidity? How much how much is sitting at key price points and how much it can absorb at key price points? It's tape reading. It's generally tape reading, Christoph. That's how I find the best way to really determine liquidity. So if you're watching, if there's something you're trading, learn to watch. You can even in stocks watch on key major stocks, watch the bid offer at very key levels and see how much selling and how quickly the selling pressure can be absorbed or disappear or like not be absorbed. Meaning, let's just take something. If you're leaning against a good, so like the 3600 level in the S&P, and it's slicing through like butter, and there's no reoccurring orders slamming in there, and big orders are just taken out a couple levels instantly. There, it's bad. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that's surprising me is this VIX. Its VIX is definitely elevated. The VIX is by no means. I mean, we're not below 20. It's elevated, but there's still no major fear in the streets, which is also what I'm worried about. And I'm not talking about something where we can go look on the economic calendar, like if we were calling up next week and go, oh, well, we got, I don't even think there's much coming out next week. Or, well, we got the minor thing. Fed, it's not like, oh, what 1 p.m. on Wednesday, we're going to be prepared for something. I'm talking about an event that blindsides. And I'm not even talking about stuff with increasing. Yes, we do have some things with increasing credit default swaps edging up. That's even somewhat on the radar screen. I'm talking something that just takes the broad market by surprise. We could literally see a no bid market, is what I'm worried about. And a no bid market is not a good market. And I don't normally talk about, my adversity, people throwing around the term crash. However, with this kind of liquidity, to the downside, there's liquidity issues on both sides. It's not just to the downside. I'm stressing that. Liquidity on both sides is an issue. However, to the downside is what has me worried. And when I am throwing, and I'm not talking about Monday, we all show up and we're in crash mode or anything else. What I'm worried about is when I've talked about before we could be in capitulation mode. This is even worse than capitulation mode from my perspective, and my perspective only, where we could literally, with a surprise event, have go no bid. And then you would see locked limits in the futures. That's what worries me. And I'm not putting this out lightly. That's why you're not going to see a separate, I'm putting this out to people who are on this live stream. I'm not going to put out some video that says, are we going to crash? 10% possibility for massive market meltdown. You're not going to see a video like that because that would just be to try to get people in. What I'm telling is try to explain that know where your levels are. I would leave, from my perspective, if you're not here to put in minor stop levels, put in, let me take some of this off so we get more real estate, put in some emergency stop levels. If you manage your stops just throughout the trading day, would have emergency stop levels in there. And I would not normally in market conditions, in normal market conditions, I like stop limit orders. Why? And my limit I give a little wider range to, so at least I don't have absurd slippage. In this market I'm not even, either it's a really wide stop limit or it's just a stop market order. Because I am more worried about just liquidity being the bids just vaporizing. So that's just my 2 cents worth. You don't have to agree with me. Gary, you can sign up for Discord. The link's in the description. It's a very inexpensive one-time fee. Very inexpensive. I'm covering majority of investments to real estate. I'm not going to miss the stock market. I'm actually not very bullish on real estate right now either. Oh yeah, I responded to that. Fed Bostic. Thank you, Sterling, for. Could you put up the quote in here, Sterling, from Bostic, or what that stuff was? I mean, that literally blew my mind. I think I responded to that. But come on. Can somebody put that up here? We don't need to cover a lot of stuff. Let's just let me just get through a couple things while I'm waiting for that. You see the sector performance. It was now a bloodbath. Remember green with energy leading the way. Basic materials today, again, nowhere to hide. Energy, which oil pulled back, but based off the rally yesterday, energy giving most of it back, just horrible. Yeah, we're still baked in with the 75 basis point. And I forgot who spoke today. Mary Daly. She sounded a little more hesitant, even on that 75, but it's not going less than 75. And by the way, green line, I don't know why this is an update. Green line should be back down to 3,600, but we are still in negative gamma territory. Fear and greed still in fear mode. blah, 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 blah. Still closing. So the official stop for the single candle buy pattern is not triggered. And remember, I talked about the for next week. I specifically said not for today for the buy programs at that 3,600 level from the VWAP. Pay attention to this now next week, especially going into Monday. If we do close below 3,600, it could get very interesting. Just want to cover a couple things while I'm waiting. I'll scroll through the comments. I hope everybody who was watching the live stream this morning, remember we had that double, and then I had to drop off, and I said, watch the tick. So the double, this you can go back and look at the replay. The double unfolded quickly. What I wanted to show with this key coming down here, first target hit, you had the little bounce back to the breakdown zone and then just tanking. Here's what I wanted to show with the tick. And this is just information to take forward for people trying to learn on shorter term stuff. Here was the open. Okay. Here was the open right here. Remember I said start watching. We were holding above zero. And then, and look at all these negative between 1,000 and 1,200. So you saw the opening key stuff, just like the opposite of yesterday. But then the selling pressure came in, and look at all these spikes between 1,000 and 1,200. There was just relentless, but it could not. It was not absorbed very well. You don't necessarily see it. So sorry, I just had to want to get that dot off there. So 402, we are officially closed. No official close below that 62.5. Just wanted to point that out. That's what your kind of thing you're watching for if you're trading the S&P shorter term. We have the key line in the sand, but it's interesting that it did close back below 3,600. This is going to be interesting going into the beginning of next week, and there was nothing else on the radar screen for at least Monday. We'll review that on Sunday in case I'm overlooking something. I am absolutely exhausted. But just want to double check for Monday. Yeah, you got the NY State Manufacturing, and I can't even talk, index, but that's minor. So Monday is void. So we could see interesting stuff. Let's take a look at some other key things. NASDAQ did, I peaked right before the live stream. This did now close below the 62.5. It wasn't closed right when the live stream started, but that is. So theoretically, we could see the lower price action again in the NASDAQ. The Dow holding up, one of the better ones, couldn't even do that 50% retracement, and the potential double still on play. So on bullish moves, guess what I'm looking at first is going to be the Dow, and the Russell closed back below the 62.5, and we could pretty soon invalidate the potential double on the Russell. Other things, then I'll get back to comments. Notes still incredibly weak. And what's also interesting, this is why closing is so important. This is the lowest note close for 10 years. See, even before we had that little bounce back, the lowest close was 110.28.5. This closed 110.17.5. So 11 30 seconds lower. This is key. Lots of things, because no, we did not get below yesterday's low, but this was the lowest close. Even remember, we saw this closing shelf right here. Two key closes. We are now below that. It was a big warning sign for me on this closing price. And as I said, the intraday trade was below 111, targeting that 110.17.5, and closing at 110.17.5. That was a very nice play today. Dollar index, after seeing some substantial pressure, rotating back up again, bearish for equities, so that the little weakness in the dollar was not sustainable. By the way, inside day today, VIX, as was brought up, the VIX, hold on, I'm just going through some stuff. VIX brought up, yes, we still have the potential double top. VIX did fill the gap, and then this was actually sort of surprising that there was not more upside pressure. I said to the upside 33, and that was pretty much the key resistance. You could not get above there. Tried, and this was a double that turned into a triple. Crude pulling back. It's going to be interesting to see below the 62.5 for today. I am watching for, if we do get early next week, a bullish reversal. I'll talk about that possibly on Sunday. Yen, the next target, harmonic 148.60 virtually, closing just above there. I'm actually surprised they haven't stepped in yet. But we're going to get a step in play on the yen. Next target, 140, roughly 149.80. This is going to get interesting because now, yes, we will get some downside. But as I said yesterday, and we've gone even higher since then, now the prior resistance is support. So any intervention, I mean, we're looking at major support coming in at 145 now. Here, I mean, come on. Atlanta Fed President Bostic had to reinstate financial disclosures for past 5 years and found violations, including more than 150 transactions during restricted blackout periods because he didn't understand disclosure obligations. All right. I'm sorry. It shouldn't be you just have to restate stuff. He should be removed. You're running the Atlanta Fed and you don't understand disclosure obligations? You have no right running the Atlanta Fed. And if you can't figure out disclosure obligations, how the frig are you going to be able to micromanage friggin' the Fed funds rate? How? How are you going to determine rate cuts? We already know you couldn't do rate. You couldn't start hiking in time, and inflation was ravaging out of control. I'm going to trust you. You can't even get your own disclosures right. And it's not like, oh, I overlooked something. There was all right, I give you, if you had one or two, crap happens. Not 150. Not 150. I am really sorry. I'd like to, you know what? Not acceptable. Not acceptable. And people want to know what my solution is because they say, well, we look at this with data dependent with our models and everything. Why don't you just, if you have a model for determining your rate hikes, publish it. If you don't have a model, then we're relying literally on a clown show, which, and I do think they have to keep hiking because I think and yes, they will overshoot. I just don't know how we'll know that because it's going to be looking in the rearview mirror again, but I think they're going to have to overshoot versus risk undershooting because inflation can literally rip stuff apart for the majority of the country if we go into a major inflationary spiral. Yet, however, this is why I think get rid of the friggin' Fed. Get rid of this clown show. I'm going to rely on the people who can't even get their disclosure. And what? We already had 2 people early retirement for trading with Fed knowledge. Didn't we already have them early retire because they were caught red-handed trading? What is this clown show? I'm in a happy mood. No, I literally want some of these questions answered. That's why I want the government to get the hell out of our way. You want, again, I'm an independent with libertarian leanings. I guess you'd put me in a libertarian, but I think the Libertarian Party is a complete friggin' joke. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I want all these clowns the hell out of our way because they don't do anything. The SEC should be disbanded because it's a joke and a half. So that's where we sit. I'm just trying to. Hey, Christoph. If I ever need money, I short the JPY. Any opinion on the UK and what that means for global economy? Governments can't stimulate and central banks can't either. Well, all right, Christoph. I think the UK's turned into a complete clown show also, and this is where the other problem when you have the government monetary policy and the central bank fiscal policy completely at odds. I mean, at least the clown show that is going on in the UK at least is like, okay, well, we can't do cuts anymore. But this is everything's a clown show from a government standpoint at this perspective, and it's going to lead to, that's another thing, we're going to be in some very interesting times. And the ECB is a complete clown show. Don't even get me started on the administration in this country. Oh, then what an S. Oh, I'm going with clown show. I'm trying not to swear. It's a complete clown show. The ECB is a complete clown show. The Bank of Japan and their leadership is a complete clown show. When the Bank of Japan eventually blows, the Swiss National Bank is a complete clown show. There's my afternoon thoughts. How do you trade this complete clown show? Well, let's see. At this point, it's long volatility. Oh, yeah. Well, don't even start me on oh, well, it's so hard to, you know what? It's real easy. Ban yourself. They're going to ban yourselves. And you know what? Ban yourself from trading. It has to be custodian accounts. It's real easy. It should have been passed. That should be an easy pass, but they don't want to do that. Oh, let me get into Congress, then I can trade all the inside information and become a multi millionaire. Whereas we'll go after some accountant who traded 500 shares with inside information and fine him and throw him in jail. But not only should they be banned, can we get some friggin' term limits on these clowns? Being in public office should not be a career. And I don't like to get political, and this isn't political at any one thing. This is get them all, for the most part, the F out. Because it's all a complete clown show. Get all these stupid rules out because they don't do any good anyways. So, inflation is a tax. It's a horrible tax. I don't even know why we have to target 2% inflation. And you know what? You're going to go through if you just let if we actually could get to a free market economy, and we don't have a free market economy, by the way. But if we could get to one, yes, go back and get us back on a fiscal plan. Go look at inflation and deflation before the Federal Reserve. There were inflationary times, there were deflationary times. It's going to be a natural order of things. Okay? And also, could you get us back on a monetary standard? Because look ever since the Nixon clown show, taking us off the gold standard, let's have some fiscal responsibility. Let's have some, yes, and I know that because you're a reserve currency, its natural tendency to run deficits. I'm not talking about there. We have unpegged to anything. No, there. Thank you for putting up with me. I am at a limit with everything. I'm not talking. I'm at a limit because this, I got to choose to be a citizen of America. I was born with Canadian. I got to choose to be a citizen of this country. And it's turned into an absolute friggin' joke. And the markets have turned into an absolute, and this is where it is turning into casino. I've been around this since '92. This is actually turning into the most casinos I've ever seen because there is no proper financial stability anymore. Bernanke, who gets the friggin' Nobel Prize in economics, okay, you literally for what? Dumping printed money into the system? Oh, there's some rocket science for you that we still haven't unwound. And when I hear a Fed talking long term, could somebody ban that friggin' bot stuff or report it, please? When I hear this friggin', we're going to undo our balance sheet. Yeah, you got quantitative tightening. How do you think the Fed balance sheet will ever go back? Really? Who here thinks that you can actually really substantially unwind the balance sheet? Because I'd like to hear that argument. I really would. I'd like to hear that argument. And then what are they going to do? Once they realize, and they will go too far, but again, I want to know where people think too far is because you're only going to be able to look at it I'm actually defending the Fed with that because they created the mess. Now get us the frig out of it, and you're the only people who can at least attempt to get rates back to some semblance of normalcy. But when they start cutting, are we going to go negative rates again like they did in Europe? We didn't go to we went to zero, but negative rates, really? Really? Because at some point that doesn't work. And then what? Why don't you just go take everybody's money at some point? And what am I paying these clowns for with my tax dollars? Literally, so you can restate all your trading records because you didn't know the own rules. If one of us did that, what do you think would happen? One of us in the private sector that tries to run a company. Oh, well, I just messed up the rules. Sorry, messed up my tax filing. Didn't fully understand it. Is that a good excuse? Let me just restate it. Oh, what, you're going to fine me anyways? Come on. Out of the job. Sorry, don't have sympathy for you. Don't have sympathy. Sorry for the afternoon rant. I was not planning on this. I don't plan on these, but I am really just tired of this because this is something I've spent many, many years and many long hours and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and everything's turning into a complete clown show. A complete and utter clown show. It is a fun environment to learn how to trade. I don't worry what happens when or if it corrects itself. There'll be a time when this is over. I would just like to really, my thing is, get back to some free market principles. Let's get the stupid rules out of the place. Let's get back to actually enforcement of legitimate rules because in order to have an orderly market, you do legitimately need some rules. I don't want the Wild West. I don't want the crypto world of trading. So we do need limited rules, and those rules should be enforced. And if you can't enforce them, get out. Thank you for reporting it, Ted. So is our money gone? What do you mean? Your money's no, your money's not gone. What do you is your money gone? Well, if they keep on this long term in this clown show of what's become the U.S. dollar too, long term it will probably will be. Short term, it's not gone. It's the reserve currency of the world. Now, if you're in the markets, I'm not even. I'm just harping against because this is going to have some lasting effects. This is going to have some lasting effects. I am now with this most recent push down and this whipsaw with the extreme volatility, which is actually more volatile until the last couple of days in Bitcoin. I mean, the Bitcoin volatility was pretty good, but we've turned this into just with the VIX. So we have this kind of volatility, and the VIX is still printing like this. Okay. This market is ridiculous for longs and shorts. Every day it's more of just it's the best stuff is either short term or very long term. Prison. Well, we could if it was found to be intentional, there could I'm not going down that path just yet, but at a minimum you're out of a job, and then let's investigate it legitimately. Hey, Gary the golfer, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you for that support in the channel. Again, Ted shouting out Gary. Thank you. Everybody else who's still here. Have I lost people? Because we haven't done a lot of analysis. I'm not even in the mood to do analysis. I'll probably just do it on Sunday. I just, you know what? I like to have a chat with people sometimes. I guess this will either lead to more subscribers or more unsubscribers. We'll see. By the way, I talked to Bob today. Gonna roll out some more stuff. Gonna launch a bunch of new stuff coming out. So we're gonna have some fun ways to celebrate the channel, to celebrate some learning, to celebrate. Also, talk to him. At some point, I will be relaunching a longer term stock product for people to learn. I'm going to do something different also. If you just want stock signals, that's fine. But if you want to know the mechanics I'm using to do it, that will be for people that will be an option for people. Also, we'll do the lists, the watch lists for people who just want that information to do for yourself. I'm going to make some interesting stuff coming out, especially for the next year, as soon as we get some stuff for the longer term once we get to more stable markets. Because literally, I'm not putting out anything besides teaching people stuff in this kind of mess. I actually think most people should stand aside. Most people should stand aside in this crap. If people want to, I think this is a great thing to learn in because you get the volatility so you can do a lot of practicing with levels. This is fantastic for learning because at some point we will go back to, and I don't care if the market goes down or up. I'm really agnostic to whether it goes down or up. It's just what's going on behind the scenes in the down and up. That's what has me flummoxed. Do I say that? Flummoxed. That's what has me perturbed. Actually has me on edge at this point. And this is one of the few times I'm actually worried about the stability of the market. And I mean, for the people who followed me for a while, how often do I say I'm worried about the stability of the market? Yeah, the system has been pure lunacy, and the financial system since, well, it started unraveling in 71. Yes, everyone thank her. Again, big shout out to Gary. Mike, I'm real estate agent here in South Florida. Let me know if you're thinking about relocating down here. Which part of South Florida? I've lived in Florida a couple times. And Bob's in Naples, in case anybody who didn't know. My analysis is useless because I'm the market maker. Well, then you're not the market maker because there's not just one market maker. And that's actually not a helpful comment, Joe. Ridiculous having to pay taxes on our gains. Like there's some blanket guarantee buying a stock. Most of us lose our donkeys in this. Don't even get me started on the tax system on short and long term gains. Well, I'll let you know, Christoph. Thanks for reaching out. I really feel I like the regulars here. I really appreciate. I feel a nice kindred spirit with many people here. Yes, we would rather have quality subscribers, not quantity. I'm watching Gary's channel from time to time. I think Tom might have been reincarnated as the market maker. I appreciate everybody who's here, but if you're going to sit here and troll the fuse has gotten shorter. I'm not going to have people waste anybody's time. If you're truly here to learn and have a discussion, and I'm going to put this out to everybody also, I'm not here for people to agree with me. I don't care if you agree or disagree with me, but we're going to have an honest discussion about it. We're not just going to waste people's time. So if you're going to come on here saying nonsense, like either the market's up every day or the market's going to zero every day, or you're just going to say stuff about it's all rigged, it's a Ponzi scheme, or anything, and just keeping repeating that comment, you will be gone because do not have time for that. Hey, Christoph, thank you. All right, that's just what I'm going to let everybody know. Even if you're watching this on replay, if you want to come in, everybody is welcome on the live streams. I love people to attend the live stream. We're just going to have a proper conversation to not ruin people or sidetrack people who are actually here to learn. I haven't heard you say anything about market stability until recently. Well, it doesn't have to happen. Again, a black swan is a rare thing. And if you're focused on a black swan, then it's not really a black swan. I am concerned, not that, again, you'll always have events crop up. You'll always have events crop up. However, with the fragility of the market right now, that combining with the more potential for events cropping up has me really on edge. And spidey senses cannot amount to anything, although we did have a couple pipelines blown up. Sleepy market. We do not have a sleepy market. We are on Discord. The information's in the description under every video to join the Discord server. I may move to Costa Rica. Hold on, Jacob. If you're still a U.S. citizen, you still have to pay U.S. taxes. Trust me, I know that because I lived overseas. You don't escape the taxes because you live somewhere else. Unless you renounce your U.S. citizenship, you still pay the taxes. Now, there's an offset based off any foreign taxes you pay, but you still pay U.S. taxes. Don't think that's the magic thing. Now, if you renounce your citizenship, then it's a whole different story because you're no longer a U.S. citizen. Yes, but it's not a complete one. It's not because you prove you're paying taxes somewhere else, you're just relinquished from U.S. taxes. Doesn't quite work that way. Wish it did. All right, so quick back to the markets. Let's just peek in, see how the pound. This, by the way, this is not a double top because it's not reversing enough of a move. It is reversing this move, but you have these wicks. So I will still use the 50% level for breakdown, 109.20 area, and then that will be the target of the clear path. Then I'll get to other comments again. Euro, it's in no man's land right now. The bullish for me is above 98.20. Bearish is if we start breaking down starting Sunday night below 97. Again, there might not be taxes at the destination, but unless you announce your citizenship, which I guess I could always fall back on my Canadian citizenship, but however, Canadians gone psychotic. Canada's gone psychotic under Trudeau. What a joke. That's even gone psychotic too. Sorry for anybody who likes Trudeau. That guy's a clown show also. There we go. Christoph. Trudeau the dictator. Bitcoin with the volatility. Really retesting yesterday, but we're still in the overall range. So I'm still watching on a closing basis about 18,400. Is the key close the downside. Key close the upside is 20,500. In there, it's now just gamble land. All right. Anything else we covered? The yen. Any stock? Oh, Tesla. Tesla. Interesting. What's this? This is going to get real interesting for Tesla. The close below the May lows. And remember, close is most important. Now the target. Boy, I can't even speak. 194.30 to 191.85. I'm now even on rallies expecting, unless something really interesting happens. Now my longer term target is 155 area with the major harmonic and the weekly 200. Yeah, ouch, Tesla. So this is now more aggressively selling. So we finally finished the full round trip after the close below the 62.5, and now we're breaking down. So any rallies from this perspective are to be more aggressively sold. And by the way, I should restate that 155 to 163. 163 on a weekly closing basis is key. Question, the RTI hit 20% below the 87.5 retracement on the daily from the recent high after closing above the 62.5 yesterday. Is it safe to say it has completed the move? Yes. Yes, it has. It has completed the move. Look at, I mean, this is... What was the range today? I mean... This volatility, I mean, look at the ranges in the Russell. 112. Is that right? 121. I mean, that is massive. High to low. You get some, I mean, with yesterday and today, look at this offsetting volatility. This is not a fun, stable market. All right. Anything else that I missed or should be paying attention to? I think we covered the majors. Uh, we'll go through other stuff on Sunday. Thanks for putting up with the my thoughts on stuff. The only thing now, I'm still longer term bearish. There's nothing from the bullish side to do yet on gold. Gold should retest. Actually, it filled. It should still head a bit back lower, but we do have a weekly potential double. Is the only thing that makes me bullish at this point. Back to about 1800. But we should still come down a bit more, which could invalidate it if we do. Yeah, gold's been interesting. The key thing is when we close below, and I haven't been touching on gold because I'm actually haven't been very bullish on gold recently. It needs to really prove itself, and it closed below a key support level. I'm now watching really, unless it's double triggers from a gold perspective, I'm watching for a return to around 1570. Yes, there is a video on it. Which harmonics, Martinez? Then I'll wrap this up for today. I think Bitcoin's going to go to 11K once we have the next major breakdown. That's the next major area. Well, Sterling, what am I going to cover on Sunday then? Come back for stocks on Sunday. I'll be better to do them Sunday. For harmonics, let me just go through anybody here. So if you've already know harmonics, this is where I'm going to leave it. For retracement harmonics, if you're on TradingView, which you don't have to be, you're going to use a fib retracement tool. If you're on any other platform, it's going to be a fib retracement tool. On that tool, you're going to modify the retracements to go in 12.5% increments. So on TradingView, it's 0.125, 0.25. If it's based off percentage, it's going to be 12.5, depending on your platform. But on TradingView, it's 0.125, etc. You can see it right here. For your extensions, for doubles, and head and shoulders, and shake and bake patterns, you're going to want to use a trend-based fib extension. And it's 0.5, 0.75, and 1 for your extensions for those three patterns. For your harmonic extensions, it is 0.125 and 0.25. And you're going to use any extension tool. And it's not a retracement extension, as I covered the other day. For example, if I was going to do the short-term reverse extensions from this down move would be click, click, click. So, hey, you've missed a very interesting session, Amit. With that, I'm going to wrap it up for now. I will be back on Sunday, and we will look at stocks then. And we will do, I need to step back from the markets and look at some stuff after I've gotten some rest tonight. And then come back fresh. Best to come back fresh to set up the analysis for next week. So that's why I'm saying I'd rather analyze stocks and everything else from a fresh perspective. So I don't make mistakes. Because mistakes in this industry can be costly. And I don't want to put out wrong information for people. So, watch the recap. Unless you don't want to hear me go on a mini rant or just tune in on Sunday. You're welcome, Martinez. Thank you. I will. Everybody else have an enjoyable day. I'm a real American. Oh, I do love this country. It's why I got my citizenship. But geez, have a great weekend too, AB. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Uh, a vertical dimension is Amit. And Martinez has been here a couple times and he's becoming more of a regular. And by the way, if you are new and catching this live stream, not every live stream features a rant. So come in and tune back for some a good old fashioned market analysis like no other on YouTube that I've seen. I don't think there's another channel like this one. If there is, somebody let me know what channels like this one because I really actually would like to check it out. You are welcome, Jacob. Only the better live streams have the rants. No, we can't have every. See, then rants wouldn't be special. And rants are never planned because then it wouldn't be authentic. And that would be fake. And we don't want fake. So, I will talk to everyone later. Bye.